Example 2, the harvest was cornucopian as it was 120% greater than last year. Notice, again, here's the word percent. What follows the word percent? Greater than. Okay, now it's not a part whole anymore. It doesn't say percent of, it says percent greater than. It doesn't even matter if it's 120, it could be 5% greater than. If it says percent greater or percent less, it makes it a before and after type of percent word problem. As soon as I see percent greater than or less than, I immediately go to before and after. Okay, once again, my columns are going to be percent and actual number. Right? So always make your columns percent and actual number. But again, if it says percent greater than or percent less than, we're going to immediately go to before and after. And one other thing I'm going to do immediately is I'm going to put 100 right here. Okay, let me just be really like obnoxious about this. Always 100 in before percent. Those are exclamation points.
No.
You always put 100 there, always. Don't even hesitate. Just immediately put a 100 in the before percent. So as soon as you see it's this kind of problem, as soon as you see greater than or less than after the word percent, put your before, your after, your percent, and actual, and put 100 right there immediately. Don't even worry about any other numbers in the whole problem. Just put 100 right there. I've said it 6 times now. Some of you will still, for the sake of my insanity, will still not put a 100 there just to see what it does to me. And it's not very nice of you. So please, everybody, put a 100 right there immediately.
7. There you go.
Now, the way you handle the percent, the after is done by looking at this and performing this task to that number. So 120% greater than 100 is 220. If it said 5% greater than, it would be 105. If it said 20% less than, it would be 80. All right, so the after is always based on this 100 and doing this to that number. So 120 greater than 100 is 220. All right? Once you get your percents figured out, and again, I see a lot of people put 120 there because they see a 120 there. 120% greater, add 120 to 100. All right? Once you get the percents figured out properly, then you need to figure out what goes in these other 2 boxes. It says the yield was 140,800 bushels. Any idea where that goes without reading anything else?
After.
But do we know that for sure it's after? Not really. I mean, maybe it's after, but I'm not completely 100% sure of that. So if I continue reading, how many bushels were harvested last year? Does last year sound like before or after? Last year obviously sounds like before, right? How many bushels were harvested last year? We don't know the before, which implies, therefore, 140,800 has to be the after. Okay? If you're not sure, read the rest of the question. Make sure that one thing you're sure about goes there. So when I see how many bushels harvested last year refers to a before, in my opinion. So that's what we don't know. Put an X there. There's only 1 box left. That's where the 140,800 has to go. Okay, the only way you can miss these problems, there's 2 ways to miss the problem. Number 1, you don't put 100 there because you think I'm crazy and you want to make me that way. That's one way of missing it. Another way of missing it is putting 120 instead of 220 because you didn't do what I told you to do. But the other thing is putting these in the wrong places. You'll get the wrong answer. So make sure everything goes in the right place when you get this set up. Once again, it just creates a nice little proportion. This time the scale factor won't be as easy to figure out, right? So I'd probably go with just the proportion. So 100 over 220 equals X over 140,800. Once again, for me, I like ending zeros to go away, so maybe I'll cross those zeros off. Multiplying by 10 is easy enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and multiply, so I get 22X for the one diagonal equals 140,800. Add a 0 for multiplication by 10. Divide both sides by 22. 64,000 bushels. Try again. 64,000. There we go. Bushels. All right. And again, bless you. Those two problems look very, very, very similar. Only difference, percent of, part whole, percent greater than or less than, before, after. So please read carefully, make sure you identify what kind of problem it is to create a proper chart that allow you through cross multiplication or scale factor to find the correct answer you're looking for.